Hey boys and girls, Queen913 here. Hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Thoughts Behind the Wheel. This might be a short one tonight, but been playing the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Loving it. For everyone who does not know you can do this, Mass Effect 3 has released a demo, which is about an hour's worth of single-player storyline and 2 maps for the multiplayer. And the single-player is as fun, as always. The multiplayer is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, the single-player obviously gets me even more pumped up for the story. I really can't wait until I can get the game. My collector's edition. Bought and paid for. Just sitting there waiting for me. With this nice collectible box and a robot doggy that's going to follow me everywhere. No, the multiplayer, I am absolutely floored by how much fun and how polished it is and how good it is. I've always had trouble with multiplayer games, like Gears of War or Call of Duty and all that, for 2 reasons. One, I kind of just lose interest after a while. 3-4 weeks, I played it, done it, now, and the big part is, and these kind of relate to each other, the player versus player. It's not really my cup of tea. It's all fun when you're all the same skill level, but the problem is, you'll get people who have nothing else to do but play this multiplayer, and they will become so good that every time you log in and try and play a little multiplayer, all it is a big fest of you getting killed by these people who are so much better than you because they've been playing for so much longer. And that's not fun. And so I usually stop. That's what happened with Gears of War. It's what happened with Call of Duty. It's definitely what happened with Halo, is that eventually it doesn't get fun anymore because everyone's such a higher level than you that it's just not fun unless you get some friends together and then you play with your friends. I think Mass Effect multiplayer completely cuts all this out because there is no player versus player. It is all you and your friends trying to take on a very, very hard computer. Like Horde mode for Gears of War, for those of you who know what that is. Basically, you and 3 other people are on this big map with lots of it's a pretty fairly big map, both of them. And basically you take on wave after wave after wave of enemies, and they get progressively harder, and you have objectives like you have to activate certain switches or take out certain targets, etc., etc., etc. And this game is designed for you to work as a team, more so than any multiplayer game I've ever played like this. Everything is geared towards forcing you guys to work as a team. If you don't revive each other, you won't survive. The difficulty in this game is pretty good. Even the lightest one, bronze, it's like bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze took me a while to beat with the team. Silver, I still haven't beaten it yet. We've gotten to, I think, wave 9. Me, Inferno, Piff Zero, and Crow Gamer, I think we've gotten to like wave 9, and that was the best we could do. I don't even want to think about gold yet. So, it's very challenging, and it's not challenging in the sense of they just tacked a bunch of shields and armor onto everyone to make them harder to kill. No. The computer is brutal. They will flank you, they will aggressively push you back and find ways to make you break cover. They're really, really fun. You don't have like a radar map, which a lot of people complain about. I love because it forces you, again, to work as a team. You have to rely off of your eyes, your ears, and your teammates to get information about where enemies are on the map. You have to communicate with each other. Now, this game, to me, would be so much harder if I didn't have people on Skype where I could talk to and communicate with, because they don't have like a chat function in the game. But, it's the demo. So, I expect that to change at some point. But I love the fact that it's cooperative, that it's not you guys trying to kill each other. I love the fact that everything is geared towards working as a team. Even you don't even have to worry about people stealing your kills, because experience is divided up by who did what damage to who. If you take 3/4 of the guy's health down and then your friend finishes off the last fourth, you will get 3/4 of the experience and he'll get a fourth. Even if it says he got the kill, you still got the lion's share of the experience. So, you know, there's no reason to fret over who killed who or who did what to who, which allows people to really play their roles. Like, for example, you know, an engineer or an adept who's really good at tearing down defenses no longer has a fear or worry about tearing down defenses and letting his teammates finish them off because they're going to get the kills. It doesn't matter. You still get the experience for what you did. So, you know, like I said, it really forces you to work as a team. And I love that. And I think I'm going to be playing that for a very, very long time, which is great. I'm loving the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Just wish I could unlock Maddock. Would really like that. Oh god, I'm losing my little headphone thingy. It's alright though. But yeah, so there's that and stuff. I do want to touch on something though that's been bugging me today. I've been on the BioWare social network forum because, you know, the game's coming out soon. Actually, I've been reading the multiplayer forum a lot, and actually, it's really funny because when they announced multiplayer, everyone freaked. Oh my god, this is multiplayer, this is Mass Effect, it's supposed to be a single-player experience, and now they're devoting resources away from the single-player game, so it won't be as good, and it's going to be crappy multiplayer. And then these same people are on the multiplayer threads going, holy crap, this is great. I had no idea it was going to be this much fun to do this. Because it really is like Mass Effect with friends. You and 3 other friends are playing Mass Effect. All the classes are very evenly balanced. And one thing I think is funny is on the forums, every time someone posts a thread or something saying, you know, engineers are no good, there'll be like 4 people going, no, they're pretty awesome. Adepts suck. No, you're not just playing it, just not playing it right. Adepts are pretty cool. So it seems like every class is really good. But one thing people don't seem to understand is that it's not like they had $1,000 to make Mass Effect 3, and since they're going to make multiplayer, $300 of that $1,000 is now going to multiplayer and taken away from single player, so the single player experience will no longer be as good. That's not the way it works. The way it works is they have $1,000 to make Mass Effect. Then EA comes along and says, you know what, we really want a multiplayer component. Let's give you an extra $500 to do a multiplayer, and we'll assign 3 more people to help you do this. That's how it works. It's not like they're stealing resources from a single-player game. It's not like there were 4 developers originally working on it, and now there's only 3. They add to the game to create the multiplayer. I seriously doubt that there is any sort of significant drop in quality of the single-player story simply because there's now multiplayer. I think that's silly. I think that's a bunch of hoo-ha and fears and stuff. But yeah. So, but one thing that I keep seeing a lot, and not just in this game, games in general, but specifically in this game, a lot of fans of the older, you know, Mass Effect 1 will sit there and talk about how they're dumbing down the games, and Mass Effect 2 was a dumbed-down version of Mass Effect 1 because they took away all the free-flow exploration and all this stuff, and streamlined it, blah, blah, blah. And I have to ask, I really do, someone explain to me, how is that dumbing down a video game? Changing it, sure. Dumbing down? No. But they seem to think that it's not like, look, I kind of missed the exploration of Mass Effect 1 as well. I was a fan of it, I enjoyed it, but it's not rocket science. It's not like the BioWare sat there and said, okay, people really aren't going to understand how to do this. They're too dumb to drive across an empty planet and pick up minerals. So we're going to make it easier. No, what they said was, a lot of people were bored because they were driving around an empty planet picking up minerals. How about we do fewer but more detailed side quests so that they're more engaged? That's what people probably would like more. It had nothing to do with intelligence levels. Unless you're saying that someone is inherently less intelligent than you simply because they don't like to explore. That's silly. And people complain about this in games in general. They're dumbing down games. No, they're not. They're just changing them. Now, are games overall easier? Sure. Did I think Mass Effect 2 was easier to beat than Super Mario World? You betcha. But does that mean that it requires more intelligence to play Super Mario? Not even close. Games are easier because the older games were harder to jump into that certain hole that you needed at the right time to dodge that fireball or you would die. That's not intelligence, that's just repetitive action until you get it right. And a lot of this was because games came out much more rarely, and thus the game had to take you much longer for you to keep your interest, etc., etc. I mean, I assume, I'm not sure, but I do know that games, sure, overall, are easier than what they used to be, and I like that fact. I didn't like the fact that Super Mario World couldn't get beaten unless you tried the same level 100 times until you could perfectly get it right. I didn't like that at all. So, yes, games are easier than they used to be back in the day, but it doesn't mean they're less intelligent. And I'm not saying that every game is a brainchild. I'm just saying that overall, this idea that video games are being dumbed down is not true. I had people, they were complaining about, on the tutorial level of the Mass Effect 3 demo, the level that's supposed to teach you how to play the game, that I can't believe BioWare thinks I'm so stupid that Anderson has to tell me how to use a ladder or how to use an ammo clip. What? What? It's the tutorial. They're teaching you how to play the game. It's not like you're going to be going through every single mission in the game and someone going, Shepard, there's a ladder. Press this button to use it. No. It's a tutorial. Do you know what that means? It means it's the level that teaches you how to play. Now, perhaps you didn't need your handheld on the tutorial to go up the ladder. But there may be someone who's never played that type of game before who would like it, who would appreciate it. It doesn't mean they're not intelligent. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It just means they haven't played that game before and they didn't know how to do it. So, it irks me that people keep thinking that games are being dumbed down for the masses. No, they're being changed. And just because you don't like the way they're being changed doesn't automatically make you more intelligent than other people. So please, get over yourself. Now, again, because I know someone might come in the comments and say, well, this game, I'm not saying every game. I'm sure there are games out there that were dumbed down to make it easier for people to understand and play. But overall, what most people seem to think is the dumbing down of the game industry is a game becoming more accessible to more people and has absolutely nothing to do with how intelligent you have to be to play the game. Okay? Honestly. Like, for example, Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Origins is more appealing to the average person, but does it require less intelligence to play? No, I don't think so. It's more streamlined. You have to memorize less spells, of course. God, there were so many spells in Baldur's Gate. But that's memory. That's not intelligence. You can be just as complex in your techniques and skill sets in Dragon Age Origins as you can in Baldur's Gate 2. But I saw that a lot. Oh, Dragon Age Origins is a dumbed-down version. It's not dumbed down. It's changed. Maybe it's a little easier for some people, but that's not the same thing. Anywho, I got that off my chest. So, everybody, take care now. I'll see you guys later. Adios.